Hello again, everybody. This is Derek, aka Mr. Everything, and I am coming back at you with another role playing video. Okay, so as you might have known, I just concluded my Greek campaign. What I wanted to do was I wanted to talk about the Greek campaign as a whole, how I enjoyed it, how the story progressed and things like that. But, um, and then I also wanted to explain why I am moving from D&D over to Harn and kind of go over some of the main reasons why I went over to Harn. Uh, and why I'm getting away from D&D. Uh, so I've already uploaded a video that talks about some of the complaints that I have with D&D, just in general, overall game mechanics, things like that. And then I've also uploaded a bunch of videos about what's great about Harn. Okay, so I don't think I really need to rehash any of that information. So um, so I'm going to basically and if you're curious about the D&D campaign that I just ran with the ins and outs of whys and what fors, um, you could just go back and watch those videos. They're all on YouTube. There were 31 episodes, so it wasn't really that long of a campaign. I actually planned on having it go uh, at least double that, maybe 100 episodes. But what had happened, see, what had happened was I decided to leave D&D and I couldn't get out fast enough. So I told my players, I said, we'll finish this module that I was running, right? So I was actually I had a big epic storyline of how I wanted to progress the story into a big theatrical, epic story. But we had only gotten through what is it, like sixth level, seventh level, sixth level. So um, unfortunately, the players got kind of shorthanded because I decided to leave. Now I invited them over to the Harn world as well, but a lot of them are either in school or they work or they were um, they were waiting to or waiting for the campaign to end so that they can move on because they were loyal, dedicated players or whatever. So so that was good that they stuck around, and then we finished the campaign, uh, and they became the heroes and all that at the end. It was kind of semi-climactic. They restored order to Greece. Put Cerberus back into guarding the gates to hell and all that. Okay, so if you're interested in that campaign, go back and watch it. If you're interested in Harn, go ahead and check out my Harn videos, and I will be uploading from time to time uh, more Harn material. But the reason why I'm getting on today is to really add on one more reason. Okay, this is just one more reason why I had to get out of Wizards of the Coast Dungeons and Dragons. Uh, I'm not going to give them any more money. And one of the reasons why is their company is going crazy. They are woke, and which being woke is okay. I mean, depending on how extreme you are, but they're getting worse and worse and worse and more extreme, more crazy, more lunatic. They don't understand or they have a demented. Um, I don't know how to explain it. They're. I guess the word is they're woke. Uh, Now, if you just take a look at the title of this article. This article was written by Spencer Bakuli for Bounding into Comics. So if you're interested in reading this article for yourself, I would recommend going to Bounding into Comics and looking for Spencer Bakuli's article. It came out April 4th. Here it is: Dungeons and Dragons to remove half species from Player's Handbook. Claims the entire idea is inherently racist. Who are they trying to please? And are they not trying to please someone? Do they honestly believe this? I feel sorry for them. Uh, First of all, you're in a fantasy. It could be sci-fi, fantasy. It even can be a murder mystery. It doesn't matter. It's someone's imagination in a role-playing game, and you're saying that having mixed races is racist. The only way that you could completely remove racism from the game, and I'm afraid they might do this, is to not have race as a characteristic of your characters. Have everybody running around as rabbits. Have everybody running around as tigers. As soon as you put two options for players, there's always, human and dwarf, whatever. As soon as you put two races in a game that a player can choose from, it is there is a racial component to it. Not not like you would see on Earth. Not a I feel that I am better than you because my race is better than your race. No. The characters in the world would have different characteristics, or why bother having multiple races? So, in my example, the human and the dwarf, maybe the dwarfs are stronger, and maybe the humans are better at magic. I'm just using that as an example. In that case, the player that values strength and plays a dwarf will intrinsically think that his character is stronger, which it is, than the human, and that does that make him racist because he thinks he's stronger? No, no, it does not. Is an elf like highly dexterous? Yes. If you play an elf and you think you're more agile than the dwarf, does that make you a racist? No, no. Technically, yes, but because your race is better, and it is, in fact, numerically better. So you're not wrong for thinking those thoughts, right? Okay, so why remove half species? So, like half, I don't even know if a half ling is considered a half, is not a half species. It's actually a hobbit from Lord of the Rings. So you take, I don't know, half elf, half orc. Okay, those are uh, Those are the main half creatures that I can think of, right? You're half elf and you're half orc. Um, is there no such thing as mixed races? Um, now, now, if you were looking at this from like a traveler point of view or like an alien species, like you're completely from a different, you have different DNA and you're completely unique, then there's no way that uh, like a human could mate with a Martian and have a baby, right? Like in Star Trek, you have Spock. He's half human, half Vulcan. There's no way that that could possibly happen, but who cares? It's a cool story. Allow it. This just is it's stupid. Okay, so let's breeze over this rapidly. And there let us step forward towards a march to lost prophets. Wizard of the Coast has revealed that they will remove half species from Dungeons and Dragons. They are not comfortable including inherent racist concepts in a game. Okay, so the only way you can get rid of racism is to make everyone the same race. Okay. Okay, so the forthcoming update was first announced publicly way back. It was actually announced way back. I just was not aware of it. Uh, they had a D&D Creator Summit, an event where Wizards of the Coast gathered a number of notable personalities, ranging from game developers to concept creators. I bet you $100 to one that 90% of these creators were woke leftists. They were extreme leftists. They probably have blue hair and they probably all put pronouns on their live streams. They probably say that they are they, them, which is ridiculous by itself anyway. But so they went to the summit marred with various technical difficulties. Hey, that happens. Publisher eventually hosted a demo of their upcoming D&D virtual tabletop, after which D&D led rules design. Okay, that was another thing. D&D's planning on doing their own virtual tabletop online interaction, play games online. Like I use Roll20, D&D's planning on doing their own. Okay, eventually the post-demo QA turned to the topic of their ongoing efforts to sanitize D&D. Why does D&D need to be sanitized? Remember they talked about removing orcs? This is what got me started in my vision of what Wizards of the Coast was all about. They said they were going to get rid of orcs because it made a certain race of people on Earth feel uncomfortable. Okay, so I don't believe that to be true. I think that is stupid. I feel that they are afraid. And first of all, if you associate an orc with a specific type of race on the planet Earth, you are racist. You are stupid. You are. It's usually when from what I've seen, it's usually the leftists, the ones that are proclaiming to hate racism, are the ones that are racist. Okay, so let me keep reading. We don't send everything to the same people all the time, he explained. Okay. Different reviewers have different areas of expertise and experience. Everything gets sent to at least 2 people, sometimes more. That's not a good that's not a good that's not a good survey quantity. Don't you need like over 1,000? Yeah. Okay. To make it a valid survey. Uh, Sometimes more. The old inclusion review process had holes in it because they would only send out what they thought was a problem. Now everything is sent out, so we aren't guessing what might be a problem. Okay, I can get that. But why only 2 people? Our team, our game designers and storytellers, were not experts in culture and inclusion. Well, that's obvious. You're pandering to a select few of people that are extreme ideologues. So we're focused on what damage we this wait. So we're focused on what damage should this creature do. That's why everything goes through inclusion review now, so everything in our game brings out delight. So monsters aren't going to attack you and do damage anymore? They're going to have flowers and rainbows? This isn't the D&D I grew up with. Further elaborating on Wizards Coast process, the designer detailed will get a full report. Then address the issues identified. We have a conversation, then it goes back to the reviewers so they can see what we comment. Okay, I don't need to read all that. To this end, Crawford, this is Jeremy Crawford, then confirmed that due to the game now having 4 elf variants for players to choose from when creating a character, standard elves, high elves. There's no such thing as a standard elf. There's high elf, I guess wood elf. I don't know anything about this wolf elf. That's ridiculous. And the drow. Okay. Player's Handbook should soon be revised to do away with half species. I notice he didn't say half race. If you're 2 different species, there's no way you can have a baby, but 2 races can. Like I could marry a black woman and have a half breed baby, right? But I wouldn't be able to marry a Martian. Okay. Frankly, we are not comfortable and haven't been for years. I know I've gradually seen them go more woke and more woke. The half construction is inherently racist, so we simply aren't going to include it in the new player's handbook. Like half elf and half orc. He did not expand on his accusation, and thus the reasoning behind this claim remains unknown. It's because he's woke. He's a leftist. He's blue-haired checkmark, blue checkmark, Twitter. Insane. Maybe he's played so much D&D that he's lost his mind. Okay. However, despite the removal from Player's Handbook, Crawford assures players that if someone wants to play those character options, they'll still be in D&D Beyond, and they'll still be in the 2014 Player's Handbook. That's like saying, if you want to go back and play Classic, you can play 2nd edition if you want. Of course they can. You don't have to give them permission. People can go back an edition if they want. Oh my God. They think they have to give you permission. It should be noted that players will still be allowed to create half characters. Thanks to the removal from the core material, such characters cannot be used in any officially sanctioned games. Oh my God. Why would anybody want to play an official sanctioned game of D&D? As of writing, it is unclear when the Player's Handbook will officially be revised, nor when it will hit shelves. Well, I can tell you this, it's not going to sell. There's going to be a small 10% of when I say community, I'm talking about the D&D community, people that love D&D. Uh, Most of them aren't going to buy it. There's no need for them. They already have a player's handbook. But if they're wanting to get into D&D, their friends that are recruiting them are going to tell them, don't buy that book. Look for an old book on eBay, or get it online in a PDF form or something. They're going to say, don't get the new book because it's going to be stupid. It's going to be, oh man, I could go on forever. I'm not going to. I'm just going to say this is one more nail in the coffin for Dungeons and Dragons. This is why I left Dungeons and Dragons. I could see it coming. It's just too many woke ideas. What kind of really, there's a couple of three things that really made me decide to leave D&D. One of them was the fact that they were putting the screws in on any online content creators, saying that legally they own your content, which they don't, but they were going to try to bill you for any profits you might have made if you ran a game on Twitch. Maybe, okay, let's talk about like some successful online on some successful online streamers that are making like $1 million a year, maybe more, due to their ad revenue and their merch sales and YouTube ads or whatever. And Wizards of the Coast wanted a piece of that. So that was the first thing that really um, bent my sword. And then I noticed that they were starting to go woke in addition to that. So they were uh, all of, I noticed that all of their modules, their new modules, all have uh, ideological based adventures. This is ever since 3 or 4 years now, maybe even longer. The module, if you read the module, it talks about they, them, it talks about woman on woman, it talks about man on man. And I just, being a traditional Christian, I couldn't stand for that. I just can't. Now, I understand there's homosexuality in the world. I'm okay with that. I don't have a problem with that. And I don't have a problem with every now and then you throw that into your story, and then it's kind of like, oh, cool. There's these two guys and they're married. Okay, cool. But in every adventure, on every page, oh man, it was starting to become, I don't know who's writing these modules. Okay, and so I stopped buying modules. I even tried, my latest campaign was a Greek campaign. I got away from the D&D modules that I had been running in the past and went to a third party, which I actually enjoyed quite a bit. Twice. I went to Odyssey of the Dragon Lords, and then I was going to do Theros, but that was a mistake because that's pretty much Wizards of the Coast. And then I went to Arcadia, which is another company. And then the third thing that greased my goat, okay, it took me a second to remember. They had, in the last couple of years, they had this, uh, they had this agenda where they were pushing very heavily demonic themed adventures. So I don't mind a periodic demon showing up, causing problems, the players overcoming this demonic threat, restoring order to the universe. That's great. But that's not the way these stories were written. And this is something that I one of my friends asked me, "Are you going to run this module?" And I was like, no. And the reason is the majority of their modules at that point and later were joining with the demons, fighting alongside demons and devils, and not really overcoming, not overcoming or stopping a demonic horde, but allying with them and making it so that everybody lives in peace. And that's not that didn't go well with me. Um, I don't mind a story that's like that. I don't mind a single module or a specific campaign that is specifically that. I'm okay with that. But when you could tell, or at least I could, reading adventure after adventure after adventure, all focusing on this, very subtle. You have to kind of look between the lines, but it's like they nickel and dime your soul. And I actually felt that Wizards of the Coast was, I don't know this, I don't know this for a fact, but I believe that some writers at Wizards of the Coast have sold their soul to the devil. And, it's funny because way back in the 70s when I started, there was that game is demonic. That game is, the only people that play that game are devil worshippers. And that's not true because I'm an avid God-fearing Christian, but I can also enjoy a horror story. I can watch a horror movie and enjoy it for the story. I get that. I can even tell a story at my table of demons attacking a castle or whatever, and the players fighting these demons, and maybe even one of the players becomes possessed, and then they have to, do an exorcism or something like that to get rid of the demon. Those are all legit stories, and I don't see why anybody around the table would be considered a devil worshiper. But now, over the last 4 or 5 years, they include demonic themes into the game, and I think they are. And so I'm getting away. I am backing away. And here's a couple of examples. Well, I won't even talk about the whole uh, Inverness or the descent to, shoot, I don't even remember. Where they start in Baldur's Gate and then they go uh, to hell to rescue the city that's been sucked into hell or whatever. That's a pretty cool story, but that's just one. But you wind up allying and getting demons to help you and devils to help you, and that bothers me. And then you drive around in cars in hell. What is going on here? And you're using these coins that are made from souls. So you, as a hero in a game, are destroying someone's soul. That just doesn't sit well with me. That's not a good story. That is hateful, right? Okay, but other than that, you have tieflings in the game where a player can play the child of a demon. What? What is that all about? And then you've got a specific type of wizards that get their power from demonic beings. So they just layer it upon layer. It's great, and you if you're watching this and you think I'm a lunatic, or you think I'm uh, I'm exaggerating or taking it just one step too far. No, I'm not. I am a little uptight, I suppose, but I think I need to get away from D&D to save my soul. And then this whole getting rid of racism, they're not getting rid of racism. They are pinpointing it. They're pointing it out where they're highlighting it. That's the word I'm looking for. They're making it worse than it really is. If they're going to get rid of races, they need to get rid of the tiefling. If they're going to get rid of classes, specific classes, they need to get rid of, what is it, the warlock? I think that's the one. Or is it the sorcerer? I don't remember. But they need to get rid of one of those because they get their power from demons. What they need to do now, if they really want to go woke, is get rid of alignments. Make everybody neutral. Or better yet, make everybody good. You're either good or you're good. Why don't you make all, and I'm looking at this picture, I'm saying, why don't you make everybody wear gray? Khakis. Your sword, when you hit somebody with your sword, you heal them. Oh my God. Okay, I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going crazy thinking about this article and how woke D&D is. But you know what? I'm out. I'm not doing D&D anymore, and I don't plan to go back anytime soon. All right, guys, thanks for coming out and watching this video. If you have any comments about what I said, please put it in the comments. I will read them, and I appreciate it. All right, you guys are out.